Alright, everything we say and see is being picked up. Okay, so first thing we got to do now, we got it started. Pre-flight check is done. We got to call the tower, get our taxi clearance, and let them know where we're going to go. You got anywhere specific? I was just going to, unless you had somewhere specific you wanted to go.
How far does it go?
Oh, we can fly for about 6 hours. We can probably hit Denver if we wanted to.
Oh wow. Where did you have in mind?
Do what?
You have anywhere in mind?
Nowhere specific. I was just gonna head out east for a little while, try to get above these clouds. But you got somewhere you want to go?
What's the like scenic area go to?
I hear there's not a lot of scenic unless we head south to the mountains. Well, actually, in the east, southeast, really. Get down over here by McAllister. You got the mountains over here. I've only been over there once. And the rest really, north is flat, south is flat, east is flat. You know, everywhere's flat. Mountains aren't until you get south, southwest. They're about an hour or so southwest of here, or southeast. Let me see.
Probably like water, like a body of water, I don't know.
Here there's lakes. I mean, there's Thunderbird, Shawnee Lakes. Wonder, is he waiting for me? He might be waiting for me. Let me get out of here. Actually. Well, let's just head east and we'll make a decision in the air. Wiley Post Ground, Skyhawk 61571.
Skyhawk 61571, Wiley Post Ground.
61571 with Sierra at PWA, requesting VFR to the east at 5,500.
That's 571, runway 35 right, taxi via Alpha 5 Alpha, cross runway 31.
35 right, Alpha 5 Alpha, cross 31, 61571.
So it's 571, did you want radar service?
Just to a clear of Charlie.
Roger. This is 571, squawk 0412, Oklahoma City departures on 124.2.
Say again, squawk code for 571.
571 squawk 0412.
0412 on 124.6, 61571.
571, Oak City departures on 124.2.
I apologize, 124.2, 61571. Yeah, this guy's way. He might be trying to come down here. And one thing about taxiing is stay on the line. You know, the yellow line, keep your wings clear. You know, unlike a car, you got 30-something feet of wing, you know, stretching on either side of you. And we got a guy coming in front of us here. I'm gonna throw my strobe lights on so we're blinking too. So basically, you know, he gave us clearance on how to get to where we're going.
Wiley Post Ground 6473 Juliet Sierra on Alpha 5, holding short of Alpha, ready for taxi to PWA.
So he's coming this way to us.
73 Juliet Sierra, Wiley Post Ground, hold short of Alpha, got one coming out.
Holding short of Alpha 3 Juliet Sierra, thanks.
Alright. So he told him to stay put where he's at, because where he's at, we got to turn that way.
Okay.
So instead of having us try to cross paths, he told him to stay put. So I'm gonna just kind of, I'll let you take over here in a minute. I'm just trying to get us out of here so we're not holding up traffic. These clouds are low. We're gonna try to get above them so we can scoot over them a little bit. They're scattered enough so I can fly above them.
Glad it cleared up, because apparently yesterday it was saying that it was all day.
Yeah, I saw the weather, it showed to clear up around noon, at least flyable.
Have you ever driven in the rain? Or flew out in the rain?
Light drizzle.
Drizzle.
Nothing heavy. It's too heavy, it starts obscuring your vision.
Straight into park, 2 Julie, sir, thank you.
And, so, your feet here steer. See, it's not this.
Oh, it's the.
It's the pedals on the floor.
So the one on the right makes it go.
It'll make it go to the right. One on the left goes left. And on the very tippy toes is brakes. There's two. You got a left one and a right one. They also will help you steer if you need them. The thing about those is you don't want to be cooking it down the runway and hit one, not the other, and jerk off the runway and you'll start cartwheeling. I slow it down a little bit. So, if you want, go ahead and put your feet up on the pedals and just push with your heels so you're not using the brakes. And like push on the right and like keep us on that line there. So see, we're going left. Hold the right one. There you go. Now, and just kind of let it, just a little bit.
Once it gets in the middle, do you just keep it?
Yeah, it's a little corrections. So just ease it back over to the middle and just kind of just work it. I mean, you don't stay perfect, but the center line just keeps you from hitting objects on the side. And as my iPad tells, this is a runway we're crossing. He's already gave us clearance to cross it. But we got another plane coming in. The slower you go, it's harder with the pedal, so you can tap the brake.
6571 ground.
61571, Wiley Post.
571 on departure, make a right turn out heading 070.
On departure, right turn 070, 61571. Because it basically is telling us to take off, turn right on our heading, and then we'll talk to Oklahoma City and they'll get us out of the controlled airspace for Will Rogers. Alright, now before we get to the runway, this little open area here, just keep going a little bit and I'll direct you in. Alright, hit both of them on the top, hit the brakes. Try to slow them both down. Yeah, do the left one a little more. There you go. Alright, not all the way. Hang on, we're not stopping completely. Yeah, we're going to turn over here and point the other way.
Oh, so we're going that way.
We got to do a run up and check the engine out.
Oh, okay.
Before you take off, it's just a quick test. Hopefully, if something's going to fail, it'll fail right here.
And one of those grounds, Skyline 7278 Sierra to PWA.
And we won't...
7278 Sierra, one of those ground, taxi straight ahead to PWA.
780.
So the idea is before you get in the air that you know you have a problem. Okay. So... there it is. Now we do our run-up check. Fuel is on both. Brakes are on. And make sure we're checking our ailerons and stuff, make sure they're working. See that, the end of the wing out there?
Yeah.
Want to make sure they work. Better down here than in the air that you know that your flight controls are not working. Okay, so that is in, mixture is in, carb heat in. Alright, so now we do a run up. We're going to run the engine up. And then we're going to check our magnetos. There's two on there. They're like alternators for the car, but they're two. So now we're running just the left side. We lose a little bit of power because you're not running both of them. Go back to both, it should come back. Now we're going to do the right one. It drops some. So I know they're both working. Check the carb heat. That blows hot air in the carburetor, keeps it from icing over when you're landing or the engine's running slow. We lose a little power for that. We got good alternator, more than 12. Temperature's green, pressure's green. Our gas gauges are good. We're getting good suction. That helps us run some of our gauges. Alright. So as of right now, everything's working. Alright. Alright, go ahead, put your feet back on the pedals. And go ahead and throttle it up. Just hold one hand on the throttle, one hand on the wheel. And we're still, and then just you push it in. I do hold that so you can kind of control what you go in and out. And just throttle it up a little bit over the 1,000 to get us rolling. A little too much.
Yeah. 1,000 like?
Yeah, like that's 1,000, just a little bit over.
Okay.
And and then turn left so we don't run off in the grass. Hit that left brake. There you go. Give it some more gas because now we're just idling. You got to hold it up over that. There you go.
Over 10?
Yeah. That's why if you, here, let me show you something. If you hold your finger right there, it's easier to kind of, you can ease it out, ease it in, and you're kind of controlling it with your finger, how fast and how strong you're pushing it. And now go back if we're turning too much to the left. There you go. All right, back it back to 1,000. That other one just gets us going. Now we're going to have to turn in here, so pull the throttle back just a little bit. And then keep us on the center line. Alright, now pull the throttle back all the way off. And then hit the brakes and stop us. You don't want to cross this threshold until we get clearance from the tower. Okay. So they gave us clearance to get to here, just not to take off yet. So now we need to switch over to the tower frequency. And we'll get permission for takeoff. And as soon as they clear us, we'll close our windows. Wiley Post Tower, Skyhawk 61571, ready for takeoff 35 right at Alpha 1.
Skyhawk 61571, Wiley Post Tower, runway 35 right, cleared for takeoff, right turn approved.
Clear for takeoff 35 right, right turn approved, 61571. Okay, go ahead and close your window. And that's your air conditioner. You can, as we're going, the wind will start coming through it, and you can blow it if you want. Okay, so now go ahead, get your feet down off the brakes. Go ahead and throttle it up just to get us rolling. And all right, it's right there. That's good. Just back it off a little bit. There you go, right there. And just keep us lined on the center line. Yeah, remember, this ain't turning, it's your feet.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, it's hard to, like when you're used to driving, kind of.
And then just keep your hand on the throttle at all times, even during takeoff. That way, the throttle and the vibration can back out a little bit, and you don't want it to slow down while you're trying to take off and climb on a low altitude. So go ahead and just let it roll out on the runway. Go ahead, give it some more gas. And then you want to stay in the middle, so you're turning too much. You turn to the right. Get it in this world, we don't go on the right side, we go in the middle. So get out there in the middle. And let off the brakes. You got a lot of power and you're holding the brakes. Alright, now turn it on the runway line. Alright, now just put your feet. We're going to stop 1 second, I'm going to show you something. Okay. Now, put your feet down to where your toes are pushing on the bottom where your heels were. That way you can't do the brakes. You shouldn't be able to hit the brakes, and you just push with the balls of your toes. Got it?
Put a light pressure on it, right?
Well, yeah, just right now, just get to where you're not with your feet, to where you can't push on the brakes. You just slide your feet down to where your toes are at the very bottom. Okay? Because you're just pushing with your toes from here on out. Okay? Yeah, don't try to push the pedals while we're not moving that much. I'm just trying to get you to where you can feel, just get your feet down the bottom of it. Alright? So now, one hand on the yoke, one hand on the throttle. And as you're going to push the throttle all the way forward.
571 tire, you got a problem?
Negative. I'm sorry, I'm with a student.
Okay, so runway's not the place for instruction. Clear for takeoff or taxi clear.
I apologize, we are rolling. Let me do it right here.
Okay.
Hang on. Okay, you go ahead and hold the yoke.
Okay.
And when I tell you to, pull it back.
Pull back the...
Now pull back the yoke. Not yet, not yet, not yet. When I tell you to.
Okay, okay.
When I tell you to. Ease it up, ease it up. All right. Just light pressure. I need to be able to go over you if I need to. Okay. All right, just hold it like that, right there.
Okay.
All right, go forward just a little bit. There you go. Not that much, not that much. Don't do drastic movements.
Okay.
Just ease it. When I say in or out, just a little bit, little bit.
Okay.
Nothing drastic in the plane, because too much changes too fast. All right, pull back just a little bit. There you go. All right, a little forward.
It really is very light. I mean,
yeah, it is. Yeah, it doesn't take much to do stuff. That's why you just gotta. All right, pull back a little bit so we can climb some more.
571, contact Oak City departure. Good day.
Oak City departure, 61571. Thank you. All right, we're gonna go ahead and make a right turn. So just turn it to the right, and when I say level it back out. There you go. All right, we're gonna contact Oklahoma City.
7 and 29 Central for Oklahoma are in effect.
Oak City departure, Skyhawk 61571.
Skyhawk 61571, Oak City departure, radar contact, say request.
We're just going to VFR to the east for some sightseeing past Shawnee.
571, climb on course.
Climb on course, 61571.
Oak City approach, hello,
Alright.
70 Kilo Hotels with you.
So keep going to the right, do a little bit more.
Clock at 0556.
Number 70 Kilo Hotel, Oak City approach, Roger, altimeter 1084 and
Alright, now level it out. So there to the left, yeah, there you go.
Copy 2984 and VFR Drake Wiley Post, Kilo Hotel.
So a little bit to the right, we're kind of banking left.
Sorry, your transmission was cut out.
We do have information here.
And watch out for that button right there. Don't push that because you'll be transmitting outside. And just fly with one hand, and just kind of loose. It doesn't take much. Just you can almost just fly with one finger. You know, just kind of relax it.
it's hard to gauge how much pressure put on different things. How much?
Yeah. All right, pull back a little bit. We're nosing over. Is
that better?
Yeah. I'll try to get us in a trim here to where we can. Here, let me see it for just a second. Let's see what we got here. Now, let go.
Oak City 70 Kilo Hotel. We're at a 65,
okay.
4,500 VF.
See right here. See, I'm not even holding on to it. See, just kind of letting the plane fly. I'm using the trim here to set how fast we're climbing. If I trim it up, it'll nose it up higher, and I'm gauging our airspeed because the steeper you climb, the slower this goes. And so I'm kind of climbing right now around 90 knots. It keeps a good amount of air coming in the engine, keeps us cool, and so for right right now, see, I'm not really even touching it. So it's just be like, if you death grip it, one, it's harder for me to counter you if something goes wrong, and two, you know, you wear yourself out. So just kind of hold on, mainly just keep it level. And
571, if you're sightseeing, you coming back to Wiley?
We'll be returning to Wiley Post.
571, just let me know when you're back to Wiley.
Will do, thank you, 61571. Alright, go ahead. Like, see, go ahead and turn it left because we're kind of turning here. Right now, the main thing is, if you can see it, Will Rogers Airport's right off the wing straight that way. See that green grass area?
Yeah.
And then Tinker's over there in that grass area. And you see the Devon Tower right there?
Yeah. And
then you see OU right off in front of your strut if you look straight that way.
Oh yeah, I see it.
And so the main thing right now is to stay north and stay clear of those two areas. Oh, my bad. There's Tinker right there. What the heck am I thinking? That's Tinker. I can see the runway now.
Okay.
All right, head that way a little bit. And doesn't sound like there's a lot of traffic out here right now. They're not hand jabbering on the radio at 90 to nothing, so you know, we're pretty clear, but we need to, you know, keep an eye out for planes. And see these clouds coming up. VFR, we can't fly into them. So what we're going to do is we're just going to keep climbing a little bit because I asked for 5,500. We're only at 4,000 right now. We're probably going to, here in a little bit, let's head that way. So make a right turn, head for that open area. And we'll probably scoot underneath this one and we'll climb up behind it. Alright, go ahead and level it out here. And so the main thing right now is just stay clear of the clouds. And so we got about 1,000 more feet to go. That's one thing, days like this are fun to fly when you can start getting a little bit close to these clouds. The only thing you got to be careful of is when they start bunching up too close, we still got to be able to get down through them without losing sight of the ground.
How many feet up are we right now?
Right now we're fixing to hit 5,000 feet.
Okay.
We got about 500 more feet to go. I know. In aviation world, while there's no physical, you know, roads up here, we do have rules that we got to follow. One being, if you're on an easterly heading, you got to in VFR like I am right now, where we're flying visually by looking outside the plane, we got to maintain an odd 1,000 feet, so 5's an odd number, plus 500 feet, so 5,500. What that does is anybody heading to the west, they have to be at an even number plus 5, so they'll be at 65 or 45.
Kilo Hotel, I dropped your type aircraft. You have 550?
So they will.
We're at CE 560, citation 5, sir.
They'll be above or below us 1,000 feet. If they're flying by instruments, they could be at the even or odds, even number. So at any time, anybody coming in an opposite direction will be no more or no closer than 500 feet above or below us. So we shouldn't run into anybody. Okay. So we're coming up on 5 here. So I'm gonna go and just let me trim it back down a little bit. Get up here.
Citation 0 Kilo Hotel, just west of Will Rogers and straight in 35 Wiley Post.
Alright, so we're going to level it out.
And then we'll make the final.
Back off the power. You don't want to keep running full bore on a cruise. So we're at 55. Now we're gonna. Now we're right at the base of these clouds.
Good afternoon, Oak City approach.
So I'm gonna.
295.
This is the fuel mixture. We can actually thin out our fuel.
At a 12.3 with Victor.
Show 6295, Oak City approach, got a runway preference.
We're set up for 35 right.
Show 6295, expect visual 35 right.
35 right, Air Shuttle 6295.
Alright. Okay, so we lean out our fuel because in an airplane, the higher you go, the lower the atmospheric pressure, the less air is up here. So if you're burning the same amount of fuel as you are at sea level, you start flooding the engine with fuel. So you back it off, thin it out. So you run less gas the higher you go. So right now we're cruising about 7.2 gallons per hour flying. And right now we just want to maintain 5,500. So if you start seeing it descend a little bit, we'll climb. And there's the Shawnee Lakes out there, Shawnee Airport. Or that might be Thunderbird. Oh yeah, because there's Shawnee there. I could see I know Shawnee because I live there. I could see the grain towers, the white things way out that way.
I see it right there.
Yeah, and the airport's just this way, those towers.
What's the furthest that you've flown?
Pretty much. That trip I took Mary and Ashley on, I've done that a few times. That's pretty much distance-wise the farthest I've gone.
Where'd you guys go?
We went up to Kansas, just east of Wichita. Thing has an autopilot. I've had the guy show me like 3 times. I've yet to have figured it out. I just, for the life of me, cannot get this thing to work. It seems so easy when he's in the plane, then I go to do it, I can't do it. The other plane I can work it just fine. It's got an easier one to use.
Citation 0 Kilo Hotel, kind of quality post tower, 126.9, have a good night.
126.9, 70 Kilo Hotel, thanks for the help.
But the one thing flying is always be paying attention to where you're at.
6 or 10.
Postman 430 Papa Tango, Oak City approach, expect visual approach 35 right at Wiley Post, continue direct to the airport, descend and maintain 6,000.
This is our GPS, so we can...
Direct Wiley will...
Like there's the Callister.
6 for 0 Papa Tango.
Hotels, we got
0 Papa Tango.
81 miles to get there. We're doing about 124 knots.
Romeo uniform,
So
2,200, climb 3,000, heading 0.
it'll take us now
Romeo uniform, Oak City departure.
30-40 minutes from now to get there.
7,000, 22 Romeo.
But follow that red line.
And 22 Romeo uniform, turn left heading 040.
040.
It's here. Tells us
Tango, mid your altitude, maintain 8,000.
nobody's showing up, but we're transmitting a signal out. Not every aircraft is. By 2020, they're all supposed to be. Where you can see them on here where they're at. And that's a 2-mile ring, and that's a 4-mile ring right now, the way I got it set up. So anybody within 4 miles of us will show up. And so we'll know where they're at. And we're kind of dropping a little bit, so we'll trim it up here a hair. But
Oak City approach 43 Charlie Hotel through 19.1 for 10,000. We have the 1-minute weather at Sundance.
43 Charlie Hotel, Oak City approach. Descend to maintain 8,000. Expect visual approach to the Sundance Airport. Plan to use a base over the top of Wiley.
It's affirmative. 43 Charlie Hotel down to 8,000.
Where are we right now?
well, right now that's Hera below us.
Oh, okay.
See on that. if you really want to. That's our plane right there. That's Wiley Post where we took off. And there's Shawnee Lake would be right over there. And we're pretty much heading directly to Shawnee. And so...
Airfield 6295, descend and maintain 3000, airport 1 o'clock, 16 miles.
Down to 3,000, and we're just punching through the last layer of clouds. We'll call it when we get.
Roger, if you would report the basis.
Wilco. We got the airport in sight, and the base is about 5,500.
Show 6295, thank you, sir. Clear visual approach runway 35 right.
Clear for the visual 35 right, Air Shuttle 6295.
Show 6295, contact tower 190.35. Have a good night.
Going back and forth on this, how
6295, see ya.
Helps with the how if it's going up or down, like the nose.
Right.
Or
That's your pitch. So it pitches the nose up or down. So it's better to think of it like that, because just pulling it back and pointing the nose up doesn't mean you're going to go up. It means you're going to lose airspeed, because they say pitch for airspeed and throttle for altitude. So if you want to go up, you got to throttle it in. If you want to slow down, you pull it back. And you kind of control the two, like when landing and slow flight, to get your airspeed where you want it, so you don't come in so fast. And
maintain 4.
But yeah, in the scheme of things, you pull back, it's going to pitch the nose up, and that's what allows you to climb. But without throttle, you'll climb for a second, you'll bleed off your airspeed, and then you'll drop. So
Your Papa Tango has the field in sight.
you got to kind of do two at once.
Tango, keep your base north of the downtown Oklahoma City buildings. Cleared visual approach runway 35 right, Wiley Post.
35 right at Wiley Post, Sierra Papa Tango.
Yeah, we'll stay north of downtown for the base, then the Wiley Post, Sierra Papa Tango.
And it's just a little fine tuning, trying to keep our altitude where this will hold it pretty close.
Tango current Wiley Post, altimeter 284. Information Whiskey current Will Rogers, altimeter 284.
All right. Forget what Shawnee's weather is.
Aircraft hazardous weather information, portion of Oklahoma. Further information available, High Watch Flight, Watch or Flight Service.
Remarks. Daily drone activity planned. 3 to 4 miles east-southeast of the Shawnee Regional Airport, commencing 0600 hours through 2100 hours local. 13 August extending through 19 August daily.
Shawnee Regional Airport.
Automated weather observation 2254 Zulu. Weather wind 280 at 10. Visibility 104,600. Scattered temperature 30 Celsius. Dew point 20. Altimeter 2982. Remarks. Density altitude 3,100.
Remarks. Daily activity planned. 3.
Alright, Space Guy's getting Shawnee weather so they can see what our altimeter needs to be. As you're flying around, the barometric pressure changes. Your altitude is feeling by the pressure, so if you don't change it and don't adjust for it, your altitude will be changing even though you could be flying straight and level. And we're fixing to bust over this cloud. Yeah, this is where I did all my flight training at here in Shawnee. Alright, so we got a few clouds up here. We got to kind of watch where we're going. So we're starting to get above some of them. Those right ahead of us we're going to run into. So we're going to have to dive below those
Tango, contact Roger.
big ones.
Correction, Wiley Post Tower, 126.9, good night.
126.9, Zero Papa Tango, have a good one.
How high can this plane go?
I've been up 8,500. I think by the book you can get to about 11 or 12,000. Alright, we're going to go over this one, and we're going to have to drop down to get them. We can't fly into that up there.
Number 43 Charlie Hotel, center maintain 6,000.
6,000, 43 Charlie Hotel.
Cheers, 2 Romeo uniform, kind of Kansas City Center on 127.8. Good night.
178, appreciate you. Good night, 22 Romeo uniform.
These are the days I was wishing would happen when Mary and them were flying. They didn't have all the clouds.
It's kind of cool to see them
Yeah.
up close.
Yep. Alright, we're going to drop down a little bit here. Just going to power it back so we can just set up for a cruise descent. You get pretty close to them like that. We just pull the power a little and just let it cruise down. Flying around, not paying attention to where we're going. Get us back on track here. That little magenta line's where we want to go. Ain't been to McAllister since I did my solo cross countries, my flight training. You have to take 2 trips by yourself and navigate, and so you can get out there and do it.
That must have been kind of scary the first time.
Man, it was fun. By the time you do that, you're
further east you gotta go.
What's he talking to me?
I didn't hear it. How long does it normally take to get a hang of it? How long did it take you?
Oh,
Started.
I mean, I've been flying since I was in diapers with my dad.
Oh, okay.
So for me, it's a little different. For some people, it might, 5-10 hours till you kind of get comfortable flying and you're starting to land okay. And
landing is like the hardest part, right? Typically.
It's the most demanding because there's not a lot of room for error when you're right above the ground. And
Cessna 61571, how much further east are you going to go?
61571. We were thinking about heading towards McAllister. We were just discussing it.
571, roger. I'll put you in for you want flight following?
Negative. I think we'll be all right. I'll contact you on the way back.
61571, squawk VFR and change to advisory. Good night.
Thank you, squawk VFR 61571. Okay, so 1200 is standard VFR. So anybody squawking that, they know it's VFR. Flight following, just so we'll stay in radar or in radio contact with everybody. But I think we're being all right. We're just going to scoot right underneath the clouds here.
Number 3 Charlie Hotel, descend and maintain 4,000. Sundance is 1 o'clock and 15 miles. Wiley is 12 o'clock and 12 miles.
So above, once you get 3,000 feet above the ground, that's when all the rules apply for how high you're flying or what altitude. As long as you're under 3,000 feet above the ground, you can fly whatever you want. So most Shawnee's like 1,100 feet, Wiley Post 1,300. Most out here are around 1,000 feet. And Holdenville is 860, so pretty much if we stay about 3,500 or so, most of the time, as long as you're under 4,000 feet, you're okay.
Oak City approach, November 627, Alpha Foxtrot with you 3,000 for 5,000.
Because above that, you're worried about IFR traffic and people in and out of the clouds, and so you want everybody at a designated altitude.
Number 67 Alpha Foxtrot, Oak City departure for contact. I'm maintain 1550.
Down here, most people aren't going to be flying IFR.
Up to 15,000, leaving 4,300, 7 Alpha Fox.
7 Alpha Foxtrot.
It'd be cool if they were just a little bit lower. We could just scoot right under them.
040.
Right, 040, 7 Alpha Fox.
It'd be scary seeing lightning. That's what
Yeah, no lightning.
Number 3 Charlie Hotel, symbol expression maintain 3,000. Or correct, symbol expression maintain 4,000.
Really all just farmland over here.
Yeah.
Charlie Hotel.
Number 7 Alpha Foxtrot, unable to direct driller.
Correct, driller 7 Alpha Fox.
Yeah, there's really nothing sightseeing around here until you get a little ways away.
You guys go over by Wichita?
No, I haven't gone that way yet.
Oh, okay.
That's Seminole, I think, right there. Yep, that's Seminole Airport. That is a tough airport to land at. I haven't landed there in a while, but the trees and the buildings, man, that approach is bumpy.
Charlie Hotel has Sundance.
7 Alpha Foxtrot, connect Kansas City Center 12718.
2787 Alpha Fox.
Number 3 Charlie Hotel, clear visual approach Sundance.
Cleared for the visual Sundance, 43 Charlie Hotel. We can cancel IFR at this time. Do you see any traffic between us and Sundance?
Number 3 Charlie Hotel, IFR cancellation received. Remaining in your current code, stay with me. There is traffic departing Wiley Post, currently half mile north, coming in at 1,000 north out of 2,000 Sierra.
43 Charlie Hotel, looking for the traffic. We'll keep this code. And cleared for the, and canceled IFR.
Number 3 Charlie Hotel, that traffic's turning to the northwest. He should be clear of Sundance. He's currently about 2 miles southeast Sundance, northwestbound at 2,500. He should be clear by the time you arrive. You're setting up for the North Pole landing, is that correct?
That's correct, 43 Charlie Hotel.
All right, number 3 Charlie Hotel, we'll call it traffic, no factor, no additional traffic between you and Sundance. Squawk VFR, Wiley Post 1310 at 11, altimeter is 2984.
The only thing I don't like about planes is your ears getting blocked.
43 Charlie Hotel, have a good
Go up, the air pressure changes.
Yeah. We got Holdenville coming up. Just tuning into their frequency in case anybody's out and about. It's fun getting out, taking the trip, going somewhere. But the only thing about out here is just no scenery. But the nice thing about farmland, always a place to land.
That's true.
Oak City approach, southwest 539, 11.8 descending via the Tisdale 3 with whiskey.
Southwest City 99, Oak City approach, good evening, St.
Got a lot of places out here. We lose an engine or something, we can put it down.
A while back ago, I heard about, Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Plane failed, and he ended up landing in a field.
Well, he did that, but he also made a mistake and landed on a taxiway.
And taxi wagon?
Yeah, he overflew a commercial airliner, and yeah, he landed. He mistaken the taxiway for the runway. And then he was like, is there supposed to be an airplane at the end there and there? Like, yeah, I think he needs to start flying here pretty soon. I think he's getting too old.
Haven't ran into any birds, have you?
No. I flew actually on one of my cross-country flights. I was literally in a flock of like 3 different flocks of birds. I had like some hanging out right off the wing each side, and I mean they were like staying up with me. Pretty weird. Gotten close though. A few of them, they get pretty close to you. no horn that you can honk at them, and hopefully they hear you and just get out of the way. But we're about 40 miles away. So we've covered half the distance.
How many miles per hour would that be?
A knot is about a little less than a mile an hour. So 120, we're probably cruising 130 to 140 miles an hour.
Oh, okay.
Give or take. I think we just lost that frequency. Alright. Oh, what town are we over now? Okay, that's Holdenville there.
Southwest 5039, got the field sight.
5039, clear visual, the first runway 35 right, contact Roger Tower 109.35.
Clear to visual, 35 right, going to Tower, Southwest 5039. Roger Tower, Southwest 5039 is with you on the visual, 35 right.
Transmitting on approach.
Runway right over there. I don't know if
That's Holdenville. That's a short one.
Roger Tower, Southwest 5039 is with you on the visual, 35 right.
5039, towers 119.35.
Make the switch, thanks.
Miles and miles and nothing. We can come back, we'll shoot over Norman and come up. That's a neat little route going up between Will Rogers and Tinker, just fly right between them.
Good evening, Gas 5702, 2.6, climbing 5,000.
5702, up to bar, put a contact, comment 15,000. When able to proceed direct Pioneer.
15,000, direct Pioneer, when able, Gas 5702. Confirm Pioneer is Papa Echo Romeo.
6702, affirmative.
Thank you.
That view actually looks pretty.
Do what?
That view actually looks pretty nice.
Yeah.
There's a river over there too.
Yep. At one of these we can follow to Norman because one falls right under Norman, just south, going up. Part of the approach to the airport is follow the river to find
5702, connect Kansas City, set of 12718.
1278, good day, Scouts 5702.
When I first started flying, when I was a teenager, when I first started taking lessons, and we didn't have GPS and stuff back then, these were how you navigated. You would tune into beacons out there, and they would tell you where you're at in relation to it. Like the needle centered like that. It means as long as you're flying that 245 heading on your deal, you'll be flying straight to it.
Oh, okay.
And so you used your map, and when you crossed over it, you have a to from indicator to tell you whether you're heading to it or where you're heading away from it. And then you can see on your map, you know exactly where you're at. And with two of them, you can cross two of them, you know, get a bearing to two different ones and pinpoint where you're exactly where you're at on your map. And it was a little different flying then. But the old days, you just looked at a map, up there's the bridge I'm looking for, and then at that bridge you should be going in this direction, and all dead reckoning. You just basically fly by what you see on the ground. The old airmail pilots, and if you ever seen it, but they had arrows on the ground that said, go this way, go this way, go that way, go that way. And they would fly that way till they saw the next arrow and then keep going. There's still some around, not too many, but some parts of the country you can still find them.
Departure South 4175, climb to 2,900 for 5,000 feet.
Some of them pilot women, they sound freaking hot as hell too.
Proceed directly.
Some of them on there.
15,000, sky with 4175.
I could be her co-pilot.
Can't hear us, can they?
No, not unless you push that button.
Definitely.
127.8, sky with 4175. Good night.
Sounds like a little high school girl.
There is a age limit like.
You can solo when you're 16. You get your private pilots when you're 17. After that, it's whatever you can get. I don't know that there's an age limit on like being an instructor or anything. I think the only age limit's just got to be 17 to get your private pilot.
City approach, citation 705 Whiskey Lima, 7,700 descending 6,000. PD 3005 Whiskey Lima.
Alistair somewhere right up there to our right. Just past them, I mean...
Clear visual 35 right 5 Whiskey Lima.
Is the mountains, but
probably a lot more turbulence by the.
Do what?
A lot more turbulence.
These aren't real big, but if you get too close to them, you get the wind going up and down and over. You got to be real careful. Real problem comes like when you fly in the Rockies and stuff, because
I was gonna say if you go fly over to Colorado.
Yeah, you can get to Denver on the east side. You don't have to cross over the mountains. But you start getting the mountaintops at 14, 15,000 feet. One, this plane can't go that high. We'd have to find a way around them. And two, the winds get a lot higher up there. Which is good if you can get a tailwind, you can really fly fast doing that, but not good if you're trying to get over the top of a mountain really, and you're close to it. Because you get a wind coming over the mountain and then coming down and it hits you from the top, it'll just shove you down in the ground. If you don't have the altitude and the ability to turn around and get out of it, you're going to crash. You can't climb out of it. Mountain flying, you need special training to do that. It's a whole different ball game.
City approach Cirrus 904 Charlie Golf, level 4,000.
Yeah, I tell you, I was thinking we'd even see the mountains a little bit better by now.
Like the 3-5 visual.
I didn't see them.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of out there. There's just not much. You know, when I flew over all these things there, I couldn't figure out what they were. I took pictures of them. But man, they look like some military.
Military installation.
They're just weird looking. They look like
that is kind of weird.
Bunker kind of storage places. And actually, these. Yeah, these are kind of. These might be. They kind of look like what I remember. I don't remember the long buildings like those, but I'll show you a picture when we land. What I took a picture of. Buildings I saw were white.
FedEx 347 Heavy, 3.3 for 5,000. FedEx 347 Heavy up to 15,000 direct call.
That's weird how they're all like lined up like that, all in the same area.
And look, they're pointed, angled on their straight lines on these buildings. They're not just sitting straight. Kind of weird. I don't know what they are though.
Little roads on the two, like. Like a reservation or something, or
I don't know.
Kind of look like, I don't know, like little.
They look like homes?
Yeah.
Huh.
Like one of those like huts or something. On this side, if you look on this side, it kind of looks.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like there's things to go like.
I mean, they look like it. I don't think they are, but I don't know.
Departure Southwest 6883 is 3,500, climbing 5,000 direct crimson. One 5,000 direct crimson, Southwest 6883. 27-8 FedEx 347, have a good day.
Yeah, GPS. Every once in a while you lose signal. Usually comes back in a few minutes.
Southwest 6883, good day.
You can start making out the mountain now.
City approach, Southwest 4076, checking in 7 for 6000, Whiskey.
Just, huh?
What was that?
I was like, we're just good on the rim down here, and then we'll head back.
Clear the RNAV 35 left approach, Southwest 4076.
Have you done any tricks or anything in the plane?
Oh, no.
No.
These aren't designed for that. I mean, you got to do your maneuvers for your license, stalls and deep turns and that kind of stuff, but nah, you don't do... Not set up for loops and rolls and that kind of stuff. It could do it, but you gotta...
It's not ideal.
Well, I mean, with airplanes, there's a whole lot of factors you gotta get in, and you gotta have a limited amount of fuel on board. You gotta be wearing a parachute. You can't have nobody in the back seat. And, you got to get the weight down into a utility class. Right now we're flying normal, which either one flies fine. It's just you have what they call an envelope you fly in. Your weight, your where you're sitting at and how you balance that weight in the plane, your center of gravity. And because if you're too nose heavy, you know, you might not climb. And if you're too tail heavy, if you stall, you might not get your nose down. And to get out of the stall and you'll crash.
1935, Southwest 4076.
So when you're flying, when you're going to do tricks and stuff, you got to get it down into the utility class, which is a very small part of the whole envelope. And which means you got to get your weight way down, you got to get your center of gravity more to the front. You got a lot of things you got to do. I mean, it used to be standard to like do stalls and spins and stuff in flight training, but they've since stopped doing that. What?
How much open land right over there? Like,
someone is, or you?
I said there's so much open land.
Oh, open land.
Or anything? Yeah.
Yeah. I've never actually came out over the mountains here. I flew into McAllister, just landed. I took off. I actually was climbing up the side of a mountain. And because when I made my turn, I was like already 700-800 feet over the ground, but I was just barely over the top of the mountain. A lot of trees now. Turn and head back up towards Norman, and we'll overfly Norman and come back up.
Oak City 904 Charlie Golf has Wally in sight.
Approach bearing 77 Kilo Alpha 6000. Down to 4,000 Kilo Alpha.
We get our sun in our face on the way back.
Charlie Golf cleared the visual 35 right, Wally post.
Departure, good evening, sir. 506 Alpha Charlie. Climbing out of 1,800 to 3,000. $6,000, 506 Alpha Charlie.
Talking to us right now, or?
No. No, they'll call our call sign, but they don't know us because we're not talking to them now.
80, 506 Alpha Charlie.
If I would have stayed with them, you know, you got to listen. Right now, nobody's got us for. They'll keep people away from us.
City 7 Kilo Alpha has Westheimer in sight. This is visual 18 Kilo Alpha.
Hello, departure Delta 2483. Is that a 4 for 5?
Charlie Golf 126.9, good day.
Oklahoma City's got 3 different frequencies, and the way we're coming in, we gotta get on a different one than the one we left on. So, we'll see what's going on out here. I'll turn a little bit here. Follow that magenta line back to, that's going to get us to Norman, and we're just going to overfly Norman and go up between Oklahoma City and Tinker. I'll climb a little bit. On this heading, we're going to get up to an even number. I just want to get above OU's airspace. And we're pretty much clear of the clouds heading this way, so get about 1,000 feet higher than we were coming out. But going this way, we got to be on the even side of the numbers.
Gaining altitude, or?
Yeah. We can get up to 6,500. OU's airspace is about almost to 4,000 feet above the ground, or sea level. So I don't want to be scooting right on top of it. And when we're going on a westerly direction, we got to be at a 6 or even 1,000 plus 500. So we'll just climb up to 6,500.
We're heading towards Norman right now?
Yeah.
How far is it?
Airport, 79 miles.
9 miles.
We're going a little slower this way. We probably got more of a headwind. We're only doing about 83 knots, so it's going to take about an hour to get there. And right now we're climbing too. When we level out, we'll speed up a little bit.